Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about big set sales. So, selling big sets, it's always super, super exciting. Everyone likes making that really big paycheck for the week. So, I got some good stuff for you today. And just so you know, I'm going to be talking really, really quickly just for time's sake. And for that reason, what I'm going to do at the end is just post my presentation in the chat box. So, if you didn't get all the notes written down, if you miss something, you can just find it in there. And I'll also try to put my phone number in the chat box. So if you have any additional questions, you can just reach out to me directly. So selling big sets, today I've really broken it down into three overarching categories or components. And the first is the pre-demo. So before you get into the script itself, this is where you build value in yourself and you connect with the customer to prime them, prime Mrs. Jones for the rest of the demo. The second part is the demo itself. So getting into the script, really building value in Cutco and helping them see that it's worth it. And then the third thing is the close. So this is where you can build your average order from taking those smaller set sales, the piece sales, into your bigger, more exciting set sales. So first things first here, the pre-demo. I've broken it down into three main objectives for you. So the first one is your rapport and goal sharing. So the objective of goal sharing and rapport is to get the customer bought into you so that when you do sell the value of the sets, they want to do it today to support you. Instead of saying, we understand the value of Cutco, it looks great, but I don't know, we might just wait a couple months when our finances are perfect. And we all know that doesn't really happen, right? So giving them a reason to do things today if they really, really like them. The second is it puts a positive first impression on the product based on the impression that you give them, showing up with goals, visions, and as somebody that genuinely cares about the customer first and foremost as a person. Right? So don't be the Chicago cutlery rep that's got no ambitions at all. You show up, you're not prepared. All you're trying to do is sell them stuff. That's not who you want to be. You want to be congruent with our product line, and we're the best of the best. So you show up and you be your best. And then the third point here is just it puts them in a good mood. Right. So it puts them in a good mood for the rest of the demo so that even if they don't know if they're interested in buying, they at least want to support you and they're willing to listen to you and engage with you throughout the demo. So goal sharing is super, super critical. If you guys don't know, the viewcutco.com is actually just a Google Slides presentation. So if you go into your drive, what I did is insert 3 slides before the demo even starts to talk about myself, connect with them, share a little bit about my Cutco experience, right? We didn't grow up with a passion for selling knives, right? And then the third thing is just share my motivation and why I'm working so hard to give them really something to buy into before the demo starts. So I'll attach my goal sharing at the end of it. I'm not going to go through it. But that's the first thing is rapport and goal sharing. The second thing is framing. So framing how big our product line is and how expensive the stuff is. Because the last thing you want is to get to the end of the demo and they think Cutco is going to be really, really cheap and they only know that we have knives, right? So framing that Cutco, we're really a full service kitchen company, not just a knife company, Mrs. Jones. And what most of our customers do is they might start with the knives, but really they're working towards a full Cutco kitchen of our forever guaranteed pots, pans, and spoons and forks as well, so that they never have to worry about kitchen stuff again and they always have the best of the best. So what this allows them to do is even if they're going with a big set sale, it still feels like just the beginning of their journey with Cutco rather than them feeling like the pieces are the beginning of their journey with Cutco because we only have knives. And then the second thing, like I said, is to frame that Cutco is just too expensive. It's too high quality to buy just to be nice. If you want to chalk me up a check for $10,000 here, I'll take the rest of the week off. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it is too expensive and it's just too high quality to buy just to be nice here. That preps them right off the bat that Cutco is really expensive. It's really high quality, but it's worth it. The third objective, the third thing to do in the pre-demo is just learn about them. Learn about their cooking specifically. Should have already learned about them at the beginning, building rapport, but now's your chance to learn about their cooking habits. So it's really an interrogation. What do they use to cook? What knives do they have? How long have they had them? What pots and pans do they have? How often do they cook? Are they cooking 1 to 2 days a week? Not often, an average amount, like 3 to 5 days a week, or like a lot, like 6, 7, 8, 9 days a week, right? And then what do they cook? Are they vegetarian at all? You definitely don't want to show them, the cleaver and the boning knife if they don't even do any meats. So really diving deep into what they cook, what's the toughest, most annoying thing to cut in your kitchen, and then who's the cook? Is it like 50-50 between you and your spouse here, or is it like 99-1, Mrs. Jones? You know what I mean? And then why do they cook? Do you cook because you have to, like to, or love to? Doesn't matter what they say, they're going to love Cutco. And really the idea is you're just giving yourself ammunition for later in the demo to suggest professionally your opinion on the pieces, because you're really their kitchen consultant here. So let's say they have trouble with the butternut squash. Well, Miss Jones, let me show you the set that has the best tool for the butternut squash. That's our veggie knife that you can push straight down on, and that's only in our complete set. So let me show you that set. So like I said, the more you know about their cooking, the more that you can show them why they need all of the pieces in our bigger sets. If you don't know about the pieces, go on Cutco.com. All of the knives have the product names and uses thing, and go jot down a couple uses. If you don't know what the cleaver's for, there you go. You get a free one. Chicken and poultry there. You can chop up coconuts, right? So go learn a little bit about this stuff so that you at least have an idea going into what they're about, and you can auto-suggest for them. Then we get into the demo itself. So the very first thing to talk about in the demo itself are the golden rules, the very first 2 golden rules, reading the manual and having a good time, right? So read the manual. I can't stress it enough. There's a reason why anyone you talk to is like, yeah, read the manual, read the manual, read the manual, and then have a good time. Like I said, buying is an emotional experience. You want to make it enjoyable. One of my favorite jokes about the set specifically is, Miss Jones, the blocks, they always offer great protection. That way we can all practice safe sets. Shout out John Paulson for that one. But make it enjoyable. Have a good time. If you're not making it enjoyable, chances are they're not having a good time. They're dozing off. They're not even paying attention to what you're saying. And then they're not even getting the value of Cutco. So you're not having a good time on your demos. That sucks. They're not seeing the value of Cutco. That sucks. So have a good time. I'm going to attach 75 jokes at the end of the presentation, but read the manual, have fun. What else can you do though? All right, if you've already mastered those 2 things, this is what you can do. So framing the homemaker pieces as really the very basic pieces. And they're like, what I say is they're the 10 fundamental pieces that get most of the jobs done as efficiently as possible, but they're not everything. So I'll show you our 2 really popular bigger sets later that really serve all the jobs that you need. But I always start by showing our basic pieces in our basic set, and then showing them the problem and then offering them the solution. So this comes with bridging in between pieces and showing them, yeah, you're not going to use your paring knife on a cutting board. That's why you need your trimmer. It's not really like you could also have your trimmer. It's really you need it. Like you need the trimmer. These are the basic pieces. You need them. Commonly, I'm sure you guys can all agree, the most common pieces that people don't really get sold on are the butcher knife, the master carving set, and then the forks. So this is what I do to bring a little more attention and value to those 3 things specifically. So the first one is on the butcher knife. I go, Mr. Jones, sometimes I have people, they're using their chef knife to cut up watermelon. I'm like, what? Come on. It's like you could use your wrench to bang in nails, but there's a reason why everyone has a hammer, right? So that's the first thing on the butcher knife. Now they're like, yeah, that makes sense, right? The second thing, have you ever hosted family dinners or entertained? In the manual, it says, do you ever host family dinners or entertain? A lot of times, if they only do it once, twice a year, they're like, yeah, not really, right? Like, no, not really. If you say, have you ever hosted family dinners or entertained? Everyone has, right? Everyone has entertained people. So yeah, duh, of course they have. Yeah, exactly, right? So the once or twice a year thing, of course, Mr. Jones. So most people, they don't use this every single day. It's designed to be used the once or twice a year, and it's like your spare tire. You're not going to use it every day, but you'll be really glad you have it when you need it. Like I always say, it's always better to have it, not always need it, than need it and not have it, right? That also makes sense. And when they're thinking, I might not use it all the time, but he's right, I would use all the pieces, they can see why they're using the basic pieces over the course of a lifetime and getting a lot of value out of them. And then the forks, I just like to add a little bit of fun to the forks. So both forks are really important. If you ever want to dress up as a T-Rex for Halloween, Mrs. Jones, these things are awesome arms, super pokey, so you can grab people's candy as well. Right? That adds a lot of fun. Now they love the forks as well. So buying some emotional experience, can't say it enough. So help them be in a good mood about the forks, and they'll love them. And then the fourth thing that you can do in the demo itself is really just be excellent in the price comparison. The idea is not that Wusthof and Schön are bad, because they're not, right? So if you're telling them, yeah, these two brands, they suck, that's not true at all, and they know it's not true. So it comes off as really ingenuine, and that's the last thing you want to come across as. So they are really good stuff. They're not bad. It's just they're not the best value. So how can you come across that they're just not the best value, right? One way that I like to do it, especially virtually, you can't always compare your knives to Cutco right on the demo because they don't have it. They're not cutting stuff up. So these are two high quality brands. They're two of the top selling brands overseas, but they make different lines of sets. So it's kind of like Sony TVs. The only way you know the quality you get with these brands is the price you pay. What does that do? What it does is if they have a middle line Wusthof or Schön set, they understand, wait a minute, I didn't pay what he's telling me these set costs. I probably don't have the really good stuff. So it allows you to say, Mrs. Jones, even though you have a good brand, your knives are horrible, without telling them, Mrs. Jones, oh my gosh, your knives are horrible. What are you thinking? So it allows them to decide for themselves, oh yeah, we probably don't have the best stuff. And then you can say, Cutco, we only make one line, it's the best. But if Cutco didn't exist, I would have one of these two sets. So they're expensive, they're really high quality, but it's definitely worth it to invest in high quality stuff. Because good stuff, it's never cheap. The cheap stuff, it's never good, but quality is priceless. It's just that these sets, they take a lot more maintenance. So it's one more plug for quality, and it's saying, even if you're not going with Cutco, even if you weren't to go with Cutco today, the high quality stuff is where it's at. It's expensive, but it's worth it. And in the high quality things that you buy, they last longer and they're worth it. It's just that Cutco's better, right? So let me show you why Cutco's better. People replace these, they get dull quicker with the straight edges. Then we get to the close. So you get to the close, you say, I want to show you everything we have. The very first thing is doing the 3-set close. If you haven't heard of the 3-set close before, I think most of you have, but if you haven't, ask your manager. Don't have time to explain it. But the premise is you start with the complete set, and then you drop to the family set, and then the basic set. So notice I'm not saying ultimate, signature, homemaker. Why don't I say that? Because people don't associate themselves with the name signature set. Like, am I really a signature person? I don't know if I'm a signature. I sign stuff, but I don't know if I'm a signature person. What people do associate themselves with is, yeah, I like to have a complete set of things. I'm a complete type person. And so that's why I'm going to go with the complete set. I wouldn't necessarily consider that ultimate, right? But it's just they have the pieces. It makes sense to have the complete things. So the second tip I'll give you is that you're not selling every single piece in the set. You're selling the ideas of the sets. Right, so what are the fundamental ideas of the sets? The complete set here, this is for people that like to cook. It's for people that like to entertain because it looks so good on the counter. And it's for people that like to have a complete set of things, right? If someone doesn't like to cook at all, are they going to go with the complete set? Probably not. But notice, like, while it's important to know a lot about the pieces, you don't have to sell them on every single piece if they're a complete type person because they're buying it to have a complete set. Then you have the family set. This is really for the average household. Even if they don't like to cook, this is the Goldilocks set. Because what you have to understand is even if they don't like to cook, they're probably going to like it a lot less if they don't have a lot of the good pieces, like the cheese knife. If you're selling people on a basic homemaker set, when they're really an average family, they have 2 people cooking at once, and now they only have 1 chef knife and one's always in the dishwasher and they can't do it together, you're really just doing them a disservice. So being able to say, hey, look, you're an average family. This is the set for average families. If you like to cook, like to entertain, I would lean towards the complete set. The basic set is really just for people that have to cook the once or twice a week. So the way you can auto suggest these is by knowing about them to begin with. The second thing, and the last thing I'll say about closing, is have them write down the prices. This is so important to eliminate price shock and giving you one last opportunity to really emphasize the value of Cutco. So let's say you go through Mrs. Jones, just for simplicity, she picks out the family set as the one that she would probably go with if she were to go with one. First thing I say is, hey, get a piece of paper out. All right, you got your piece of paper out. Now write down family set at the top, and then under that, write down $8,000. Right, so write down $8,000, and then put a big X through it. So put a big X through that. Really, what this is here, that would be the value of our complete set if it were sold in stores, like I said. So you put a big X through that. You don't pay that. The best part about our family set is it's not everything, but it's really, really good stuff. So write down now $3,435 here. So write down 3,435 and then put a big X through that as well. So the best part about Cutco, Mrs. Jones, is that it's not your Wusthof, it's not your Schoen. We're not sold in stores. So even though we have our unique features with our wedge lock handle, it stays sharp forever, right? It's forever guaranteed. You never have to worry about knives again. We're able to offer that value at a much lower price point because we're not sold in stores and I'm here in front of you today. So put a big X through that. Now go ahead and write down, so that family set with table knives here, that's only $23.47 in full, or $506 on our interest-free investment option, like I mentioned earlier. So our 5-month interest-free investment option, it's only $506, including the tax, shipping, everything to your door. So take a good look at those prices there. It's really like an accidental trip to Costco to get the knives you're going to use forever and really get use out of. So take a good look at those prices there. Then put a big X through those as well. So where did I get these numbers, guys? Go right on the value in the Cutco Orders app. You can see customer pays. This is the price, Mrs. Jones, that you would pay to piece this set out here. But like I said, because I'm in front of you and it's a set, we do great discounts. So I can save you almost $400 on this set here. So that's even less than the Wusthof Basic or the Wusthof Basic comparable price there for their sale price. So that's only $19.95 in full, and that would only be $429, including the tax, shipping, everything right to your door on our 5-month interest-free investment option. And because I know how much value people get out of a set like this, I know really the difference in experience that people have over a lifetime when they're able to invest in the good stuff. What I'm willing to do for you today, I know you have trouble cutting up squash and you really like that veggie knife. What I'm able to do for you is throw that in for absolutely free, so you're getting everything you're going to use forever and not paying for the price of that complete set. So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you, would you like to try out this set today and claim that free veggie knife? That makes sense, right? When they're considering this price, you save them $400 and then throw in the free stuff, you want them to feel like, wow, I would be dumb not to buy this, right? And that all comes from the 3 C's, which is the last thing I'll say. So the 3 C's of selling Cutco, and in closing really big, if you do everything else wrong, it doesn't even matter. I mean, it does matter if you do everything else wrong, but if you do everything else right, it doesn't matter if you don't have these 3 things. And it's really your conviction in the product and that their experience will be changed forever with Cutco, your confidence in your ability to communicate that with them, and your comfortability with the prices, knowing that people spend thousands of dollars on their kitchen every single year for a lot less value than Cutco offers. And if you're wondering, how do I get that conviction? How do I get that confidence and that comfortability? Get your hands on some Cutco. This is what I have in my apartment. I got the kitchen tools, some pots and pans. I got the full complete set. You better bet that after using Cutco every single day, I have a lot more conviction in the product and the value we're able to offer, and I don't even cook. And as an added bonus, all your roommates are going to start selling Cutco, so you can get some free team builder prizes. Shout out Dylan, right? So that's the last thing I'll say is get yourself your hands on some Cutco and really just learn how much value we're able to offer people. And when you're coming from a place that you're really trying to change lives in every single demo and you're providing value, you're able to come across in that way to your customers, and they're really going to see that and buy into you and buy into the bigger sets and see that. So that's the last thing I'll say. And then obviously here's the resources. Like I said, the goal sharing script, this is mine from winter break, Queen's Cutco kitchen intro, have that too, as well as the flatware and cookware script, and then Alex Funk's joke sheet. So thank you so much.